and welcome to The Graveyard Shift, the weekly horror podcast where we take listener and guest suggested movies and break them down into the good, the bad, and anything else we find fun and or relevant. Is what we usually do when we don't take it upon ourselves to put on a theme month, and this month's theme is fishing season. Because we decided, why don't we do some movies about fish? Or at least things that swim in the ocean. So we may throw a shark in there, even though SciShow is happy to tell you any day of the week, Hank Green will just yell at you that a shark isn't a fish, and yes, I understand. I don't doubt you. But we're doing it anyway. So, my name is Mike, but I do not go fishing for horror movies alone. Joining me is the woman who just went through a sugar crash watching this movie because she wanted to bite my head off for making her watch it, Alicia.
You are not wrong. I just wanted to eat every candy I could find just in order to prove that this was total bullshit.
And with us is the man who will be wondering if the rest of this marathon of movies is going to be this dreadful, John.
Yes, I had to do other chores while watching this because it was just that slow. Hopefully, this isn't just an ill omen of the rest of, the momentum for this theme month.
Mm.
Yeah, this was one of those movies, I told you right off the bat, do yourself a favor and play with your phone while watching these movies.
Yeah, you were not wrong. I was like, well, this is a good time to, fold this laundry that I've kind of been putting off for a day or two. It's I took it out of the dryer and I was like, I just can't get myself to fold it. But
I got better things to do with my hands than do this.
Yeah, I was like, I got to watch this movie. And I was like, damn, all right, you know what? Folding laundry doesn't sound too bad right now.
Yeah.
So, today's episode is No, I Wouldn't, because we watched Barracuda.
Ooh.
This was directed by Harry Kerwin, and the underwater scenes were directed by Wayne Crawford. This was written by Harry Kerwin and Wayne Crawford, produced by Wayne Crawford and Harry Kerwin, with cinematography by Edmund Gibson, edited by Jane McCulley, music by Klaus Schultze. Released September 16th, 1977, with a runtime of 98 minutes. This movie starred Wayne Crawford, yes, that guy, as Mike Canfield, Jason Evers as Dr. Elliot Snow, Roberta Layton as Liza Williams, Cliff Emmich as Deputy Lester, William Kerwin as Sheriff Ben Williams, Bert Freed as Papa Jack, Harry Kerwin as Government Agent 1, Rick Rhodes as Government Agent 2, Matt King as Agent Leaving, Barbara Keegan as Maggie Snow, Edmund Lipinski as Boy on the Beach, Kim Nichols as Girl on the Beach, Frank Logan as Sam, Daniel L. Fitzgerald as the cook, Will Knickerbocker as Bill, Ruth Miller as Edna, Scott Avery as Toby, and Rob J. Shields as Floyd. The synopsis of this movie is: someone wanted to make an ecological horror movie and they noticed sugar crashes can make some people cranky and they combined the two ideas to make this. It didn't go well.
No, it did not.
Oh,
so
man. I don't know. I do get a little cranky sometimes if I have that sugar crash.
There's
the second title I wanted to put in this movie was "You're Just Not You and You're Hungry." So have a Snickers.
See, I would have liked that one much better.
Oh my God! Yeah, no kidding.
I love it. Oh God.
But I had to give it to Hart because, Hart definitely put out the better Barracuda.
Yes.
Agreed. Although that synopsis that John regaled us with, very different Barracuda movie we could have been watching. It involved porn and sex phone operators. And
yeah, it definitely looked like it had the production value of a Cinemax porn. But I bet this would have been more entertaining than what we got here.
Massively.
Yeah, here's the synopsis. Summer, a phone sex operator, is at the end of her emotional rope. She begins recording her callers as proof of how normal professional men can also be pedophiles and rapists. When no one will believe or listen to the taped phone conversations with these otherwise ordinary men, she takes matters into her own hands and drives her vintage Plymouth Barracuda. Why does that need to be necessary across the country, surprising and exposing these deviants in their home? So she decided to be a one-man Chris Hansen.
/ Clint Eastwood is my guess. A little Dirty Harry action in there.
I mean, she said exposing, not killing, so...
Well, then maybe it was a Dirty Sanchez.
Oh my God, it's Chris Hansen.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a much better movie than this one was.
Okay, so who wants to do the trivia first?
Let me get some of this over with. Sure. I mean, yay, yes, could I please? Oh, this is great. The movie's called Barracuda. Yeah, it has barracudas in it. Tangentially, but the name was actually going to be Barracuda / or like in parentheses, the Lucifer Project. To me, they should have kept that in, or even just freaking called it the Lucifer Project because of the fact that the barracudas were tangential. I know why they did that, why they did it the way they did, but it makes a little more sense.
And then make the movie about Lucifer.
Sure.
In other words, do a completely different movie.
Yes, because this one sucked. So, and now I'm going to go into why they decided in their intelligence and wisdom to call it Barracuda, even though there were, I think, maybe 4 barracudas in the entire thing, and they were on for maybe 16 seconds altogether. It was done in, when did you say, 77?
Yeah.
What came out in 75? Say it all together with me. Jaws. So They were definitely working on that. They wanted to ride on that box office success. If you think about it, like Jaws 2 came out in 78. Like there are so many fish, angry fish movies like Orca and Piranha and, Killer Fish and Blood Beach and all the piranhas, to be honest, and they're just like so many different movies. So they thought Barracuda was going to be a fantastic, just ride those coattails right in. Everybody's already afraid of the water. Let's make them more afraid. Unfortunately, they really failed. But that's another segment. So I'm just going to leave that alone. So the movie posters for this, we'll stretch and call it a movie, featured this really long blurb that said, you can almost hear the screams as the water below becomes a churning deathbed of flashing, daring teeth. Now, anybody who's watched this movie knows that that is a gigantic pile of bullshit because none of that happened. You got somebody squirted some red food coloring in the water, and that's pretty much as gory as you get, and a couple of prosthetic hands and heads and stuff.
And they wore a fishtail
that looks so bad
on their hand and wiggled it around in the water. And Joe's thought, let's just do this, and we'll let people imagine that it's an entire fish and that you're clearly not looking at a half fish puppet.
Yes.
It made it definitely made that original shot in like Empire Strikes Back. Whenever before they like edited in, have like a wampa, and it was just like a little puppet hand. It made that scene look like, high cinema for sure. Like,
oh, absolutely. God, the last thing I'll mention, just because it made me giggle, this movie eventually drooled itself onto DVD, right, for DVD release. So it was released on a drive-in double bill with a movie called Island Fury, which had its own subtitle of Please Don't Eat the Babies. It's like, okay, check. Tick, I will not eat the babies. I'm like, this is the quality of schlock that we watched for you listeners. Like, thanks so much for your suggestions and recommendations. So, I just wanted to share those. I will. That's all I wanted to share with you about this gem of a movie.
All right, John.
Well, it's not a whole lot to dig up on here. One thing, the actor in here who plays, I guess, the cop, or he's a security guard, Cliff Emmich. I don't know if you guys have ever recognized him, but he is also a security guard in Halloween 2. He played Mr. Garrett. I thought he looked really familiar. Yeah, I was like, is that the security guard from fucking Halloween 2? And I look it up, and lo and behold. And also, too, he was Mayor Rick Crinnell in Mouse Hunt. So, I don't know, a little lesser-known movie from 1997. But, I don't know. I thought that was funny, though, just him kind of reprising that role.
Huh.
Yeah, and also, the Palm Cove, I guess, of the film is actually a fictional town in Florida. But in America, there's actually a Palm Cove Golf and Yacht Club that's in Palm City. So it's kind of like combining the two names in there. So
I bet they really enjoyed this movie coming out and calling their name out specifically. It's like, not this one, not this one.
Right.
So I'm sorry. The only security guard from Halloween that I pay any attention to is Bucky from Halloween 4.
Oh God, really?
Who gets thrown into the generator at the power? He gets thrown into a transformer at the power station.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Illuminating.
Poor guy.
I mean, the guy's helmet was just so fucking big. It looked like he wore it like all the time at his doctor's orders.
Oh.
I mean, the guy's name is Bucky, for fuck's sakes.
Sick irony that, he died while doing the doctor prescribed, instructions.
I mean, he had his helmet on, but it didn't do him any good. So, trivia?
Yeah, another little thing is that at one point the Barracuda was referred to as the killer fish, and it was the name of another post-Jaws movie that was released in 1979 that they called it Killer Fish. I guess it's the same thing, they were just kind of like bouncing around all kind of the killer shark idea, and this one, it was just their bait and switch, it's just trying to hook them in with it's killer sea monster, but yeah. And I guess they said the top secret government experiment was the Lucifer Project. That's all I got for trivia. There really wasn't that many interesting facts that came up on this one.
Wayne Crawford in an interview said he made a movie which got him to Los Angeles, where he was the lead. He wanted a big part, so he wrote it for himself. He directed a little bit, did the underwater stuff. The movie cost $200,000. He said it got a big audience and it helped me get my start in Hollywood. So I guess somebody saw it somehow and still, after seeing it, decided to help him out rather than, throw like empty waste paper baskets at him until he went home.
Why do they need to be empty? I mean, really, they didn't have to be empty paper baskets.
I mean, you empty them by throwing all the contents at him first, then you got nothing left, so you throw the basket.
I like it.
And that's about it. There's really not much to say.
It's kind of like, and then
the film reviews were not good. Like, people called it out. Like, AllMovie said it was a muddled attempt at ecological horror. Andrew Smith awarded the movie 2 out of 10, calling it a cheap cash-in, and criticized the plot, phony special effects, and the lack of focus on the film's title monsters.
Yeah. For a movie about barracudas, there are very few barracudas in this.
Severely lacking.
Severely lacking. And you know that this whole movie is light on plot, when usually Wikipedia is incredibly thorough. They will list a plot that goes on for ages and ages, every single movement that has happened, throughout the entire movie. The entire plot listed on Wikipedia is 2 lines. That's it. It's just that that easy to say because there's not a lot to talk about.
It's that bloated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. It's just forgettable to the highest degree.
So now we can get to the goods.
It's going to be a short category.
Alicia, what are your goods?
Very, very lightly. I mean, it was the 70s. There's a 70s aesthetic that just flows through this. If you really like 70s low-budget horror films, and horror, I use the term lightly, but it's like cheesy dialogue, and you got your classic icons. We saw the classic cars, we saw the bell-bottoms, lots of nostalgia going on. So there's a cult following for stuff like this. Just like Rocky Horror Picture Show, was actually fundamentally a terrible movie, but it was so much fun because of the nostalgia bomb. This one has some nostalgia in there. There's a little difference to the Jaws clones. They used barracudas instead of sharks, both pointy teeth, but whatever. But they added the political conspiracy. So it wasn't just about angry fish. Now, granted, it was only barely about angry fish to begin with. But the political conspiracy was, a little different. I wish they had done it differently.
This conspiracy was there.
there was a conspiracy. There definitely was a conspiracy. It was a government conspiracy, maybe not chemtrails, but it's like the 70s version of chemtrails. And there were a few interesting...
Jaws had a better political conspiracy, which is the mayor needs money.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm jealous because, at that point, the movies hadn't milked every idea imaginable yet, so they could, it was still open ground on, the conspiracies you could dive into,
True enough.
Yeah, no one's tapped into the hypoglycemia conspiracies yet.
That's a new one.
There, it's like, they're in the golden age before everything has been milked. They're in that point where, they get to come up with it. And they've already stolen the idea from somebody before, but, again, there's nobody around to really call that out yet,
Yeah. So they were the first ones at the trough. Or one of the first ones. So you got to give them, small props for that. They don't get mad props. They only get minor props. And there were a couple of creative scenes in there, like the dog finding the severed head on the beach. Like that was cool. That was still in the diving helmet and so on. That was cool. And some of the lines were mildly amusing, enough that I wrote them down. Like that character Papa Jack, who I really wanted to throw through a wood chipper, I desperately wanted to, and his stupid son. But he did have a couple of interesting, funny one-liners. And one of the ones was when Bubba, his son, comes running in. It's like, Papa, Papa. Immediately I wanted to hit him with a hatchet. But it's like, Papa, there's, some guys down on the beach and, they're from the university. And he says, somebody should have set fire to that university. So I thought that was mildly amusing because obviously he wants stupid people because stupid people tend not to ask too many questions. So that's fair enough. I thought it was kind of cute the way the deputy, I mean, it's a small town and I get that, but the deputy had the prisoner on the honor system. So he got a little bit ripped up under the water, so he had to go see the doctor to see about his leg. So deputy just sends his daughter with Mr. Prisoner down to the doctor and back, and then puts him back in the jail without escorts, without manacles and all the rest. So there's a homey sort of feeling to that. It's this is a really small town. Where's this dude going to run to? That sort of idea. But it was charming, for very large values of charming. I'll say that was charming. So, I mean, it's just little things like that. It could have been so much worse. I guess that's the best thing I can say, other than my favorite part of this whole movie is that it ended.
It wasn't 2 hours.
It wasn't 2 hours. I only, wasted less time of my life to watch this. So I'm damning it with faint praise, and I'm fully aware of that. But if you see the movie, my listeners here, you'll understand that was torture. So,
spoiler, don't watch the movie.
Don't watch the movie.
Nah.
So that's it for me. That's all I could wring out of this dry washcloth.
All right, John, what are your goods?
Yes, again, I don't have much either. At points, there's some things about the soundtrack I like. I guess it's more of I like some of the selections, some of the strings that even some of the stuff we hear in the beginning, even though they're kind of trying to rip off Jaws, and a lot of the synthesizer tones that we see in just different parts of the movies, usually at just at points that I don't feel need to be there, but I at least will give credit that they are interesting pieces. I just feel like they would be better used in a different movie or used in a context where the action you're seeing matches up with it. I don't know. It was a lot of I like some stuff that was reminding me of John Carpenter, but this is pre-John Carpenter. But I don't know, some of that, and even some elements of the Psycho, the early slasher type of vibe to it. And obviously we have the Jaws, ripoff going on again, as I said. But I have to give some credit to Klaus Schultz on that. And besides that, I did just enjoy some of the stock footage of being underwater, I guess, at least once they're... And then some of the footage, I guess, when they're walking around on the beach. Some of the set locations were interesting, but And I think I will also maybe just glabber on. I think, or kind of glob onto what you said. I agree that that 70s aesthetic has a kind of charm to it. Like, I think the movie's a little interesting to watch as like a time capsule, and to study, or maybe study's not the right way, but just observe, dress styles and, because a lot of times you see people maybe like they're dressing retro, but we see a movie from that time period, so we see it more authentically what, the styles were and even what the style was in what year of that decade. So I always enjoy movies that are like that and can just give you that sense of time and place. But yeah, unfortunately, that is it for my goods.
Okay, so now we can get to my goods. Again, I agree with you. The opening credits were great underwater. Look nice. Underwater shots are usually pretty good. That's why they keep showing them at Best Buy whenever they want to market the TVs.
Yeah, they're just...
This definitely look like Best Buy TV sampler DVD footage.
It really did. Did it not remind you of an aquarium? Like,
yeah,
it was, really, and it was somebody.
Yeah, it was less. It's like that's what the only things I liked about it, because it was kind of like relaxing, because I was like, it took me out of the movie for a second. I'm just like, it's like an ASMR spa or something.
So my next good is the sheriff's daughter has an apple bottom and bell bottoms.
Apple bottom jeans.
Yeah, she's got the apple bottom jeans or the boots with the fur. Like, this lady's like wearing many conflicting clothing.
Oh yeah.
The dog Liberty. She has a terrible owner as far as stick throwing is concerned, but she is good at finding skulls in scuba helmets.
Yes.
Or cowls, I guess. And my last good, because we're pretty fucking faint. Even with all this talking, we're nearing the end of the goods already. Yes. 1 hour and 22 minutes in, the music finally gets good when the cop is driving to the plant to get some answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, no, that was a cool little part of the score.
That was 70s Kolchak, like sort of, chips.
I mean, the only point where the music was kind of synced up with the scene, because every other point was just...
Yeah, the second allusion to Kolchak, the Night Stalker, which also had great music. But
it did.
We forgot to mention that the newspaper reporter was dressed as Carl Kolchak.
He was, and I recognized it immediately. I'm like, wow, he really is.
You know what, dude, that went over my head. And I've seen a good bit of that show. I haven't watched all of that, but yeah, that was an awesome show.
It's the freaking hat that did it for me in the ice cream suit.
Yeah.
After we're done with the Twilight Zone, we could consider doing that on the Graveyard Channel.
Oh, cool.
And there was a second made-for-TV movie of Kolchak called The Night Strangler.
Oh, nice.
So we can throw that on in this feed.
Cool.
It was a made-for-TV movie, but still a movie.
Night Strangler. It sounds sexy.
Yeah, well, with guest appearance by NXS.
I thought you were going to say the Day Strangler.
Strangler, huh? You're going to choke my chicken?
No, thanks. I like to choke my own. I'm a self-choker. Midnight toker.
You're a Willie Stroker.
Oh, beautiful.
And we're done for goods. So now we can get to the bads.
Those are good.
And I'll go through the bads because holy shit. It's time to purge.
Time for the purge.
The opening kill is an attack on my soul.
Yeah.
It's just really fucking bad. And it never gets better. The car leaving the hotel, as it peels out, the shot just lingers like 2 or 3 seconds way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of the car takes off and then we follow the car, it's the car takes off and then we look at an empty lot as the car's in the background.
Yeah, Just make
dude.
Yeah.
Wake up, cameraman.
Yeah, pretty much. He's on the nod again.
The plantation owner is basically Boss Hogg, and his son is literally named Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only hope it's a nickname.
Oh man, it's like this is like Porky before he became Porky. Yeah,
Porky origins.
This is his origins. Like, in another decade, he's gonna be running Porky's. Yeah.
He's bacon bits.
He got it right. Yeah, I don't know. Oh god. Yeah.
Oh, I crack me up. What can I say?
Y'all wanna go up in the pan? God.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, we just see Bubba taking off. Like, that's it. I'm going to take all Papa's money and run a strip club. This corporate espionage is a bit too stressful for me. It's just making me eat like a vacuum. So, another negative about this movie: the pacing is fucking unforgivable.
It really is. It is glacially slow. Glacially.
Yeah. It's like nothing happens.
One of the worst cases is when we see the Cuda hunting the trap thief.
Mm-hmm.
All the music does is rise to no crescendo.
Yeah, it just leaves you hanging.
It's like you're at a club, but the DJ forgets to ever drop the bass.
Yes.
So it's just like it's
like I'll mention you.
Boom. Well, in this case, instead of dropping the bass, it should have been dropping the bass. Thank you, but I'll see myself.
Yeah. Oh.
And the fake ass plastic fish on the beach.
Oh Jesus!
There should be seagulls going for them.
Yeah, they're not because they're not real. That should have been a buffet.
Yeah, that was like one of mine too. I was just like, God, it just looks so terribly lazy.
They look like they scissored them in half. Like, did you notice the cuts? Like the jagged cuts? It was.
It's just like more. So it's more evidence that just shows how much of a cash grab this really was. Just
more shots.
Just that lazy.
It's more shots lingering way too long. We have the diner showing a pointless argument with the staff.
Mm-hmm.
The lobster thief in action, or anyone doing anything really.
Pretty much. It's like, ooh, let's follow this piece of paper skipping along the ground for a while because that's far more interesting.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get David Lynch to narrate some musing thoughts while we follow the paper bag in the breeze.
Yeah, pretty much.
It definitely felt.
Go on.
Oh, I would say it definitely had this feel of like, okay, you had a pretty incompetent screenwriter and director, and then maybe had a couple mildly talented people associated with it, and you just kind of milked their input as much as possible, and then try to make a movie out of it. Like, okay, you have a decent composer, and then you just try to milk the shit out of that, and then, maybe somebody can make some fish things, or I don't know. It's just like, or you get some decent underwater stock footage, so you're going to show off a shitload of that because you yourself don't have any talent to bring to the table. So it's like, I'm just going to milk these little ingredients a bunch, if that makes sense.
You got me thinking now when you're talking about David Lynch. Now I've just had like this whole series of thoughts of like, what if Werner Herzog was doing a voiceover about the futility of existence while we're watching this movie?
Oh my God.
Many people consider this to be a picturesque view of Americana. However, when you peel back the layer and see the corporate espionage and the environmental decay, you learn just how apt the Americana descriptor actually is.
Oh, Werner never changed.
And another bad, too many fish ass shots during the Coda attacks. All right, we came for bites, not butts. Faces, not fins.
Nice.
Like you can't. It's like they don't have any footage of the Barracuda actually eating anything, so they just show the ass wiggling while they're like spraying food coloring and like just tossing bits into the water, and they're trying to be like, yeah, this is a thing. Like when Jaws didn't show the shark for the longest time, they still managed to do it better than this. They managed to show you something instead of the shark. They showed enough of the shark where you're just like, I'm not missing the rest of the shark right now.
No, and it was also building to a suspenseful crescendo. Whereas this one, we see the Barracuda practically in the very first scene, and then we are left with nothing.
They chased the lobster thief guy for like
5 minutes
4
or something.
Fucking minutes.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God! Yes.
It was, they were padding it. Honestly, this is like, once again a situation of some sort of college student's 4-minute magnum opus for his film school study presentation, and they made it into a movie. That's what it felt like. They could have been done with this in 5 minutes.
So amateurish.
Yeah.
Then there's the synth sound effects they threw in for stingers that, like, I think you called them transporter noises.
They did. Just like, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Every time it's like, am I having some sort of oral hallucinations right now because they kept showing up? And like, nope, Mike heard them too. I'm like, okay, that needs to stop. And I know that, John, you called them out as a mildly good thing in the sense of that they were using, synthesizers and stuff like that. That particular noise set my teeth on edge every single time. And it made me like, maybe that's the point. Maybe that whole transporter noise is to make me unreasonably rage-filled and want to go punch a baby in the face, because that's exactly what it did.
It's the opposite of ASMR. It's like ASSHOLEMR.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The M stands for misophonia.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I thought I cracked a tooth from gritting my teeth so much.
Well, it's more of like relaxing visuals, but soundtrack not so relaxing. But that's kind of another thing. I'm going to say that's kind of one of my bads.
A lot of it was an atonal nightmare.
It's kind of, it's like the whole idea of like, why are you yelling?
Mm-hmm.
Relaxing is a very pleasant way of saying boring.
I'm watching a dude walk and you guys are acting like it's fucking like the final girl chase scene at the end of a slasher movie.
Pretty much.
And it's like, it's just a dude like walking down a hallway. What? What?
There are so many movies where the soundtrack can be good, but just does not fit like Phenomenon. Yeah. They had like Judas Priest doing the fucking music for that. And they're showing out like this onslaught of a banger.
With Jennifer Connelly.
They're playing this onslaught of a banger while she's casually walking through the woods looking at fireflies.
At night. Yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about. I was like, that was the same thing when I first watched this movie, and then they keep playing that same track like 10 times throughout the fucking movie to where it gets obnoxious. It was cool like the first couple times, and then I'm like, okay, why? Seriously?
Yeah, it's like the host when the Japanese horror movie Tag, where they managed to get the rights to the Walking Dead theme music.
Ooh.
And they played it like 8 times.
Oh God.
To punctuate like scary moments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need to hear I don't fucking need it anymore. You did it once, it was cool. You don't
overplayed it. But there's one I've got to name. We call it out every time when we talk about this sort of thing, where it's like the best, worst thing we've ever heard. The Howling 2. Howling.
Oh man,
with the boobs.
God, yeah, that's a great example of that. God, because it was kind of a cool song at first, and then they just kept playing
overplayed it. and played it in the wrong spots.
It's another example
and tits
of one of those movies.
That's great, and then you just overplayed it to the point where I was just like, this is too many boobs.
Yeah,
it became a Clockwork Orange. You're like, no, not Beethoven.
It's the same kind of idea because it's such a bad movie to where like there's not any really creative substance going into it, so they're just milking the most mildly interesting things about the movie. So it's like, they're gonna milk the song and then they're gonna milk the tits popping out. And yeah,
so to speak. Nicely put, John. Nicely put.
Yes.
Thank you. Now that's a movie I would have watched. That's a movie I would have watched. Damn.
Phrasing.
Sometimes mother's milk gifts. Right? But yeah, I don't know. It's same idea because this movie just like tries to hinge on some interesting use of sound, but terribly implemented. Mm-hmm. But maybe if you used it somewhere else by a more competent director, maybe it could be useful somewhere and some cool footage. But that's all you got going for it, man. It's like you're just trying to milk that, and then hopefully somebody will just be dumb enough to buy it.
And my final bad is a line near the end of the movie by the sheriff.
Oh, yeah?
Mike, the government doesn't go around killing people.
All evidence to the contrary, but...
Oh, you sweet summer sheriff.
Yeah, no kidding. You're so innocent as well. Pinch your cheek.
Luckily, he found out the hard way.
Luckily, not for him.
Well, sometimes you have to learn ACAB the hard way.
Ouch.
Even if you are one of the C's.
Oh.
So, that's my bads. John, what's your bads?
Okay, so first bad, I've already alluded to it a bit, but, a lot of times the music just doesn't really line up at all with what we're seeing on screen. Really intense chase music stuff that seems kind of reminiscent of Psycho, and all we're doing is just looking at some coral or something like that, or
it's like we're doing a panning shot of a small town.
Yeah, and then maybe it's somebody just maybe driving up in their car, stepping out, doing walking down a hallway, something very
regular
mundane.
Things.
Yes, and also in a lot of these scenes too, you were talking about how a couple of those scenes, like, they draw on too long, and the soundtrack does that too. Like, there's points where not only is this music not fitting the scene, but then the music just keeps going and looping, so it's getting annoying because it's also not fitting at all with what I'm seeing. It's not fitting the visual intake, and it's just it starts to get misophonic. You're just like, oh my. Just make it stop. It's irritating.
Pretty much.
And this is really just scattered throughout the whole movie. Like, it starts off in the intro sequence where, the music drones on too long. And, just generally it's just too bombastic. That's maybe a good general idea you're seeing here. I guess he already talked a bit about the fish looking like a sock puppet. And the cheap blood effects, the fact that it did look like they just put food coloring in there. I mean, they just couldn't really bother to make it look a little more convincing, make it look a little thicker, like give it a darker color. Because it almost made it look like they just like dropped some red droplets on the camera lens and then put it was like a red filter.
Yeah, it wasn't even rivulets or anything in the water. You're right. It just looked like a red filter.
It just so off.
Cheap.
This is just cheap. Yes, it's just so reminiscent again of just that this is such a cash grab movie. Like, again, the lazy effects with the fish and even one thing too. This is more of a minor thing, and I kind of laughed at it, but was just when that doctor he's crying over Maggie's death. He kind of sounded like. He sounds like Sloth from the Goonies.
Oh, God.
Like whenever he starts crying. And I was like, okay, so, like ugly crying. So if ugly crying has a look, well, this is if it had a sound attached to it,
Yeah.
And I mean, really, it's okay. Like low blood sugar, seriously, just like a sugar crash this is the big plot reveal. I mean, we go through this whole movie where we barely even see barracudas. I mean,
yes,
I feel robbed of that because most of the movie is just people sitting around talking with like this unlikable protagonist.
Yep.
Who's supposed to be an environmentalist, but I'll touch on the next point. I just find that the whole cause is just really lame. There's just nothing that convincing about it. I mean,
Piranha had Piranha. And they actually had a reason for the piranha, like, we were going to train them to fuck up the ecosystem of places we're trying to attack by fucking up the fish industry.
It's just like you can't come up with like anything. I mean, I guess it's almost a little pretentious because it's like they looked up the first condition in like a medical journal that they found, and then they're like, oh, well, what if this was some plot by the government? They just picked something, and then they just said, okay, well, this is the disease, and the government is using this to control the populace, and it's top secret and everything. Yeah. So it just comes off absurd. There doesn't really seem to be a real world basis to this. I would just if you're gonna bait and switch me, at least make it something compelling. You can take that approach and actually surprise people a bit with a great story. It just might not be what people expected.
Yeah, you want to control people to destroy the population or destabilize the region. You already have conservatism.
Yeah, right. So even in the final deaths, which again, it's just such a cheap, stupid ending. My God. Yes. And not even bullet wounds. You can't even
and they'll fall backwards when you get
can't
ventilated.
Just squirt some ketchup on their shirt or something just to make it look like they got shot. It's just like they fall back.
Never mind shot. They got absolutely riddled with bullets.
Yeah, I mean, it just
they should have been Swiss cheese spurting out of every hole.
We deserved a Sonny Corleone ending.
We did. We got not that.
I mean, just not even any sort of... I mean, if it's going to end with them dying, there's just not any sort of dramatic setup to this. It just happens, and
then it's
just like, it ended. They're like, all right, fuck, all right, that's enough. All right, wrap. Okay, we got enough, folks.
No denouement, no nothing.
Yeah.
No.
We don't even get to see them on the ground dead. It's just they fall back and then pause credits.
Yeah.
Fuck you, viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I mean, it feels like if they were trying to go with this environmental angle, too, this is the other problem I have. It's just like, it feels like they're undermining their own message. Because I'm wondering, it's like, is this... It seems like they're going more of this environmental route for sure, but just the way these characters are presented, it just feels like a satire.
It's just it's more of an instruction to the government rather than the people. It's just saying, like, if you want to control the populace, just get the police to judiciously murder protesters and anybody investigating you, and you'll win. You'll just win.
Yes, this guy from the university he comes off very snarky. Like, he comes off all the stereotypes that these government types would think of, like, this is what we think the new
You
West
just have
is
to
like,
kill environmentalists and university students who question you, and you will just get away with it.
Step for profit.
The messaging is so muddled in this. It just feels like it's wanting me to laugh at this, even though it's saying this explicitly, but it feels more like it's got this Mel Brooks... Well, no, I don't want to... No, I'm not going to associate his name.
No,
with
that's...
And we're definitely not pissed off because this is happening right now, and the bad
not at
guys
all.
are winning.
No. Art imitates life 50 years earlier.
Yeah. I guess, I just don't know what they're wanting me to do here. It just seems like, okay, well, if he's supposed to be the hero guy, he's just a dick.
Yes.
I mean, the moral of the story is kill the police, and then the government conspiracies won't have any enforcers. Yay! That's the way to save the country. Just kill the enforcers of the evil will, and then you can go after the evil.
Is that how that works? I don't think that's how that works. That's not how any of this works.
It's what I learned from this movie.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. See, this movie is just great for children, Yeah, it's muddled.
I know you're just asking them, like, what radicalized you? I saw Barracuda.
God damn, yeah. I mean, that's really about like that I could come out because, honestly, it's hard for me to even give this movie enough attention to want to like pick apart everything that's wrong with it. Like I will say just the last bad I do have, and it's just overarching with the movie, is you touched on it already. It's just the pacing is god awful. Yeah. There's not, again, there's not much you see of the Barracuda, and the discussions are just not compelling either, because like all the actors deliver their lines very flatly, and a lot of the dialogue is just simply people announcing what their thoughts and opinions are and what they're going to do. There's not nuance to it. It's that kind of just exposition spiel, and I am this character, I believe in this thing, okay? And it doesn't give you anything to really grip your attention. So, anywho, I'm going to leave it at that for the bads.
Okay.
All right. Alicia, what's yours?
Well, I'm going to say there are three major issues that I have with it. Lots of minor issues, but the three are, you've all covered them well. I'm just going to put my own little spin on them. We've talked about how boring this movie is, right? That is the major, major problem. It is plotting. It's never ramps up to anything really worth talking about. I mean, the first scene had a little bit of promise to it. There was a death, there was blood, there's a severed hand, like it's all great. But do you realize it was another 30 minutes until we actually saw the putative Barracudas again? 30 minutes in this movie, which is not very long to begin with. And during that time, we're getting to know the characters. There's one small problem. As you pointed out, none of them are particularly likable. In fact, all of them are kind of unlikable. I thought about it, and that's number two. The characters themselves seem to be caricatures, stereotypes of, here's the know-it-all college boy who's come to show them boys how it's done. You've got the good-hearted sheriff and his dim-witted deputy. You've got the bad boy Papa Jack chemical plant owner who feels that his shit don't stink and he's untouchable because he employs most of the people in the town. Then you have the morning doctor who's a little bit crazy cuckoo banana pants, for reasons of his own. You've got a couple of Daisy Dukes in there. Like there's nobody that seems to have their own character. They're all just taken out of this, Scrabble tile jumble sale.
Yeah, they're archetypes.
Exactly. And they're not particularly inspired ones. So you jumble all that together and you get this mishmash. The third problem is this a fucking creature feature or is it a conspiracy theory horror movie? It can be both. It can be either. But in the end, it was neither. Because it did not explore the themes of either satisfactorily.
It's like the Pelican's favorite food brief.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just I wanted more, but I also wanted less because as you pointed out, there were so many scenes that were irrelevant, that were extended for no purpose whatsoever, that seemed to go nowhere, and there were not nearly enough. It used to be called a movie
instead of a short.
Yeah.
That's their purpose.
They padded that bra all the way to double D because honestly, there was so much that was not useful in this movie, and there was so much that was useless in this movie, and there's so much that we missed that we could have had more interest in. Like, okay, let me give you some answers I'll never get. Some questions I'll never have the answers to. Number one, why government conspiracy? What were they actually trying to achieve other than chaos? Like, what was the purpose? What was the point?
It's not that hard. You just have unchecked corporation leaking shit in the water. It's turning the Barracuda. It's turning all the fish rabid. And the Barracuda being the biggest fish, won out in the nibble race. And now they're the only population in the water.
Yeah.
Boom. Corporation bad. Corporation gets exposed. Boom. You've got your political message done.
Yeah.
You got your
You
heroes
don't need
winning.
government.
Yeah. It's a pretty, should be easy to just come up with a cliche story, at least,
Absolutely.
Competent.
It doesn't have to be original to be good. Just, make like a stock conspiracy movie.
Yes.
That works.
You can at least something that's at least like functional, competent,
So if you're going to do that, then call it something other than Barracuda, because of the 6.5 minutes of Barracudas that were in this movie. I don't even think it was that much. They were pale, lackluster, ridiculous, puppet. Even the real Barracudas, they're just swimming around barracuding. Like they're not actually, they're not actually doing it. They're not paid actors. They're just fish swimming, and it was poorly done, and it didn't make enough sense. They got away with a little bit saying that the barracudas are at the top of the food chain in this particular area, and all the fish were starving to death because they were affected by this particular, chemical that was being put into the water by Papa Jack on instruction from the doctor, who's being paid by you see where I'm going with this, was being paid by the nameless government, agents in order to do this. So the barracuda was also starving, and it went into a feeding frenzy trying to kill all the fish, but it wasn't getting any nutrients, just like the fish weren't, because of this chemical inhibiting, which is why the people were going crazy, because they were literally starving to death because their bodies could not uptake. Yeah, they were getting angry. They were getting angry, and they were punching everybody out. That's stupid.
This is just Florida.
Yeah, honestly, it was like a whole bunch of Florida mans. But yeah, that was supposedly the whole plot of what we still don't know why Crazy Doctor Man decided that this is what he wanted to do, and how the government geeks got in touch with him and all the rest. Like, we got none of that conspiracy information as to why that was, and why he didn't think his own daughter was going to not be affected by this, and all the things, right? So those are the things that just drove me nuts about this movie, because there were so many things that it could have been better. It may have never been a great movie, but it could have been a competent movie. And it missed the mark so far that it was just ridiculous.
I didn't even see the doctor crying that much. It just looked like his tears were like they just put like eye drops in him.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just like, okay, now be sad over your daughter. And he's like stroking the photo like Wolverine.
It was not great. It actually gave me creep vibes. He was like wistfully thinking like, damn, I'm going to miss that ass. Rather than like, oh, my child, the memories I've made with my beloved offspring, my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like it was just not right. So, I mean, those are the big themes. And then there are the little things that bothered me, since, I'm going to savage this thing right down to the death. We pointed out a couple of inconsistencies, and we noticed this in a previous movie too, when we were trying to figure out, like Swim Fan, and we're trying to figure out why the shit was this ever a thing. Did you notice when, fancy college boy gets taken away in the cop car, why the shit is he in the front of the cop car as opposed to the back where the prisoners go? Yeah. Like, I don't understand why they were driving him around like he's the mayor, So, I mean, he's not dangerous, sure, but I mean, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me why they would do that, except because it's Hollywood magic. Blah, blah, blah. It's a hell of a lot easier to film somebody talking side by side in the same, in the front of the car or the back of the car, as opposed to one in the front and one in the back. So I'm like, that was just cheap and stupid. I really hated the transporter noise, but we have covered that. I did not want to go through that again. I definitely wrote down a couple times how this movie was boring. And I was definitely scrolling my phone occasionally and had to tear myself away to look at the screen, because I can't look at this right now because I want to tear my eyes out. But I managed. And then just everything about it, like even the double cross at the end, just seemed very cheap, tawdry, pat, and convenient, and definitely budget friendly. So all of this thing, it was just so poorly made. I do not understand how the writer / director / craft services guy thought that this was a good movie, or that it made $1. I honestly don't get it. So anyway, enough savaging. There's plenty of bad that we've talked about in this, and it's amazing that we've gone all the way through and I still had plenty of extra bad stats.
Cheap tawdry pat sounds like the lady you settle for at closing time.
Ouch. She's the you'll do lady.
Yeah. Oh
God.
Can't make the whole night a wash.
Closing time.
One of them's is a double bagger. That's all I gotta say.
So now we got the what the fucks. John, what are your what the fucks?
Oh, you know what? I didn't really write anything down for this one in here. I guess it... God, I don't know. I couldn't even find anything amusing enough in here, unfortunately. I was just like, God, this movie's just boring. I wanted to...
That's fair.
I guess you could just say, like, my experience was kind of like, what the fuck am I doing with my time right now? We'll leave it at that. There we go. Yeah.
So, Alicia, what the fucks?
Well, I probably should have talked about, Jack, whatever his name was, Canfield or whatever, being put in the front of the cop cars or what the fuck. It was pretty minor. But one of the things I was looking at was another thing where we have actors and actresses who look like other more famous actors and actresses being cast. And so I'm looking at them and it's like, why does Jack Canfield, so like a college boy, and the daughter of the sheriff, why do they look so familiar? And then I realized, oh my God, it's Temu, Dustin Hoffman, and Cheryl Tiegs. I'm like, shit. It's like Charlie's Angels and The Graduate are in this movie right now, and I don't know how I feel about that. So,
absolutely, because Discount Dustin Hoffman was one of my what the fucks.
Oh, was it?
Okay, another one. The fuck is the diner serves a whole fucking fish with the head.
Yeah. Ew. A diner? Like, that's sort of fine dining or camping. There seems to be no in between. You would not get that at a diner. I can't imagine you get that at a diner outside of Jamaica.
They're like, we're on the carnivore diet. The carnivore! Strange coming here. I'm on the paleo diet.
Yeah. I'm a pescatarian.
I'm a pescatarian.
Never mind Bubba being Papa's son. I think it's Bubba from Texas Chainsaw in this one.
Making the frogs gay. The low blood sugar is making the frogs gay.
And delicious.
God. Yeah, right. And delicious. Ate the whole fish whole. That's how the cavemen used to do it.
Speaking of Cheryl Tiegs, do you know what her last movie is on IMDb?
Oh, I'm afraid to ask. Hit me with it.
Oh, God.
Sharknado 4.
No! Or maybe yes! That's got to be one of our months. We've got to do the Sharknado movies. That's just going to be a whole month of absolute tornado suck. But funny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if we did a whole month, she would definitely be the closer.
Yeah, it's like, at least on that one, they lean into it a bit. You know, they have fun with their concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess she retired, but God, her second last appearance was on Children's Hospital.
Oh,
as herself.
Okay.
And before that was Family Guy.
I can only presume a voice.
Yep. And boy, that was 2016 for Sharknado, 2015 for Children's Hospital, 2014 was the Family Guy stuff. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story, 2003, The Brown Bunny, whatever that is.
Oh, dear.
Then Just Shoot Me. And then before that, a nice break for 1995's appearance on the John Larroquette Show.
Oh, wow.
And then
going back a ways.
Moonlighting.
Oh, boy.
That was 1986. So like a nice 10-year break.
Maybe she was raising her family. Like a necromancer. I have no idea. Good for her.
Because we already talked about the fish are angry because of low blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So my last what the fuck was, Bubba just vanishes.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see him get killed. We don't see him get arrested or anything. Bubba just, like, everyone forgot about Bubba.
Yep.
Well, except Forrest. I gotta find Bubba!
I think Bubba's used to being forgotten. Maybe he did take his Papa Jack's fortune and go open a strip club.
Yeah, he was not trying to be found.
I could either open a strip club or a shrimping boat.
Yeah. Or maybe he became the Bubba in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe that's him. You'll never know. He's wearing a face mask.
Bubba.
So that's it from What the Fucks. We good for... We're all done that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can take it to the kill of the week. All the fish attacks suck, so I'm just going to say the ending, because I guess he wins. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bummer ending.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, Alicia, what's your kill?
I think the only one that seemed to be like, because again, we feel that almost everybody is sort of unlikable through this, but the doctor's daughter, she was an innocent and she almost got away. She almost survived, but she had to turn around at that moment and she saw the murderer, which is... Yeah, it's like, do you not want to do that?
With a gun. Tell someone with a gun at your face.
I've seen your face. I've seen your face. I'm going to tell everybody. Why are you pointing that gun at me? So, like, it's, it's the stupid fucking death in the sense of, have some self-preservation already, chickie. But then again, I've watched thousands of horror movies at this point. So, maybe I've got a little more self-preservation than she would, being an innocent. It's just a case of, I felt bad that she was gunned down, and even I felt like the agent who did it, spoilers, the agent who did it felt slightly bad about it as well, because he was not intending to kill her. He was going to let her go because she didn't see him. He was not going to shoot her in the back because she didn't see him until she turned around. So that's my kill, simply because it was the saddest one. Everybody else kind of fucking deserved to die at this point.
Right. At least add some emotional impact,
Yeah.
Fair. Somewhat. Oh, I'm going to have to go with the last death at the end, too, because at least it meant the movie was over, and then these
bullet barrage.
Yeah, these just unlikable characters just get shot. And I guess, maybe there was some mild amusement knowing how bad it was, and I'm like, cool, at least I can get a new note that I can talk about on the recording, because this movie is so boring. I'm struggling to get anything to talk about on here. So finally, I can talk about how obviously bad this is. So you know what? We'll get credit there.
I love how the cops acted like they put on a show, pretending they were aiming their guns at the bad guy this whole time.
Yeah.
Instead of like instantly showing up and then shooting the guy and the sheriff, like making them run for cover, have like a nice prolonged shootout at the end. No, they all just got them to be nice and complacent. It's like they were all told beforehand, okay, you're going to go up there. Now you're going to aim your gun at the boss. Don't we want to protect the boss? Yes, we do, but we're just going to fuck with them for a bit because, trust me, the look on their face is going to be priceless.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Yeah.
You're going to remember this.
For the 2 seconds you're left.
Remember the story.
So... now we can get to the rating, and I'm going to give this 1 bouncy blonde bubble butt out of 5. Really, the nicest thing about this movie was her ass.
It was quite nice.
I could stare at that a lot more than I could the fish.
Yeah.
Plus, it had like better camera work on it.
Yeah, because I mean, the fish chew you, but you would chew the butt. So that's makes sense that you would think of it.
Yeah, then you get the close up of me going like.
Let's not say we did.
He would become the Barracuda.
Yes.
I'm gonna bury
more like
that Barracuda.
I was thinking more like Barracuda, but
Yeah. Hey man, put your swordfish away, okay?
Barracucci.
Oh God.
So. Okay, so it's just going to get worse if I try to come up with other things. So
let's stop.
Alicia, what's your rating?
I think I'm going to give it also a 1 infuriating transporter noises out of 5. This movie could have been so much better without actually a lot more funding put into it. Just the funding put in other places, like better fucking actors and a better script would have been a good start. Maybe, the cinematographer could have been, take his dick out of his hand and actually take a photo of something that was important as opposed to, your Werner Herzog, paper bag floating in the air. That would have been great. I can't even say that this movie would have been great. As I said earlier, it will never be great. They will have to remake it and remake everything about it and make an entirely different movie for it to be great. But it could have been at least competent. And for that, it is unforgivable that they actually released this. It is as bad as, in its own way, as Pool Party Massacre. It's differently bad, but it's just as bad. Because they should have done better.
They're trying to imitate much better movies, but without understanding why those movies are better.
Excellent point. Thank you. Yes, that's an excellent way of putting it. Yes, indeed. I agree.
Yeah, they think if they just do these things, that equals success.
They had a camera under the water, so we'll put a camera under the water.
Yeah, the little underpants gnomes in South Park.
They didn't show the whole fish. We won't show the whole fish.
They were like, here, put footage and spooky music together. Step 2, profit. Skip that. Yeah, step 3, profit. They're skipping the second part.
Yeah.
Where, you actually have to have like writing and something interesting to say,
Yes. Like, a plot would be nice.
Give people a reason to care about your fucking characters. It's like.
That's right.
So, John, what's your rating?
I'm with the consensus here. It's 1 ASMR water stock footage that's interrupted with a grating soundtrack out of 5.
Barracudas interrupt us.
It's ASMR waterboarding.
Like if I muted the soundtrack and I just watched that, then maybe it'd be cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. This movie, I definitely agree that, with some refinement, with a better script, and a better director, you could maybe eke out a competent film. But this is in no way going to really be a great film. I mean,
no.
The concept's already absurd.
Yep.
Like, you're really just like you build up to barely seeing a barracuda, and when you do see it attack, it looks so egregiously bad with the sock puppet, and then they just pull the rug under you with this lame-ass low blood sugar plot device. Like, I don't know where they were going with it.
Fuck, I just came up with the title.
Oh, what is it?
Barracuda.
Barracuda. Nice, I like it.
Yes.
Rewind.
Just a very slow-paced movie. It was like, imagine like if you took some of those old Godzilla movies where the acting is pretty bad and the subplot, but it was almost like 90% just the subplots. That's kind of what you would do here. But honestly, this, like, the Godzilla acting is way better than this. I mean, hey, I've come to appreciate some of those side stories a bit more of those movies. This just doesn't really have much to offer for it. At least this gave me something as background noise to get some laundry done. So, I'll at least praise it on that front. Damn. It's like, if you're going to have a Barracuda movie, man, let's like really make an actual Barracuda creature.
Agreed.
Yeah, make the Barracuda matter. Make them military experiments.
Yeah, it's like, I get this is a cash grab, but you gotta have to put a little more effort. You have to like pretend you care at least a little bit more.
Agreed.
And even with our generous padding, that is it for this episode. But
we did our best, man.
We've only just begun the summer of fishing on the graveyard shift.
So under the sea.
Let's hope it gets better.
Yeah.
Or at least more exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I don't mind savaging a bad movie.
But we don't know if it's going to be better.
Yeah, fair.
But take it from me, right?
So, until next time, I'm Mike.
And I'm John.
And I'm Alicia.
And thank you for joining us on the Graveyard Shift. The Graveyard Shift is a Strange Biscuits production. Visit our landing page at graveyardshiftpod.captivate.fm and be sure to share us with anyone you know that likes horror movie discussions with a comedic twist. It couldn't be easier to join our inclusive communities, to share your love of horror movies, TV shows, or books, or video games, or anything scary, as well as make suggestions for future movie reviews, theme months, and what you would like to see on our Twitch channel and YouTube. Join our Discord with the link in the show notes. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, Blue Sky, and Patreon at Graveyard Shift Pod, and on Instagram Threads at The Graveyard Shift Pod. And be sure to check out our merch store link in the show notes so you can get our logo on your shirts, coffee cups, mobile devices, tote bags, coasters, and bath mats, and let everyone know you have great taste in podcasts. Thank you for listening, and as always, stay safe and stay spooky.
Ha ha ha!